So we got the second.
We got a first and a
Motion
second.
second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we're on to appointment confirmation of the city manager appointment of assistant city manager, Mr. Jason Reynolds.
Mayor, Council. Thank y'all for allowing me the time. Before I call Jamie up here, I do need to make a statement to the council, to the citizens, and to my employees. We have been through a lot over the last 3.5, 4 years in my time here. We have made a lot of changes, and part of those changes led to Jamie transitioning from the library to the city manager's office in a strategic service role and taking on a very big picture focus on trying to help change or look at service delivery options throughout the entire city. And she was instrumental in that. And we also made a lot of changes to the departments. And the optics right now look like, hey, we've cut $13 to $15 million out of the budget over the last 3 years, and the city manager gets to add a new employee to his office. That's what the optics look like. And it's very important for me to let you know, to let the citizens know, to let my employees know that I understand that it looks like that. That's not how it is, okay? Jamie's position was moved out of the library. Those funds transferred over to administration. So it is technically a position, title, and responsibility shift. It is. And there is a third assistant city manager added to this role. It is not more money added to the budget. It is not taking away from one department and adding to the city manager's office. I need to make that very clear. In addition to that, over this time of change in Baytown, it was council's #1 priority to look at revenue growth for the city of Baytown. And it was a priority to say, how can we be more sustainable while continuing to lower our tax rate and bring in revenue that is not impacted as much by our tax rate, which means the IDAs, and looking at how we can grow revenue on the outside. So part of this transition in the city manager's office also includes Mr. Brent Gary taking a different position to focus entirely on revenue, okay? And right now, as we've presented to you all in the past, we've found different avenues that we can explore revenue with the possibility of adding $10 million extra dollars in revenue through IDA agreements over the next unnamed years at this point. As soon as I name something, somebody will hold me accountable to it, so I'm not going to put a timeline on that. But that will be Mr. Gary's primary focus on collecting additional revenue so we can continue to lower our tax rates in this organization. As it looks on its face, there's already about $1.2 million that we look to add to next year's budget on the work that he's already been doing to this point. So it already appears to be paying off with that transition. Now, with all that said, that large caveat out of the way, Jamie, please come up here. She is an amazing human. She is so, if I have to be very short with that because once I start, she won't want me to stop, so I have to say one nice thing and that'll be it. But she is an amazing human. She facilitates our discussions. She leads professional development, not just amongst our team, but throughout the organization, throughout the community. She is hired by organizations in Baytown to facilitate leadership endeavors, to help grow teams throughout this entire community. She's been doing this in the city manager's office for roughly 2 years at this point, and she has made drastic changes in the organization. And I look forward to what she brings in this new role and the lead that she is going to take in growing other members of this organization. And with that, I ask council to welcome Jamie with open arms, and I can't wait to see what else she can do.
Good deal. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have to completely agree with city manager's words. And Brett, you've done amazing as our assistant city manager, and you've already proven yourself in economic development. So I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next from you. And then Jamie, you and I go way back, and so just to see your trajectory as well has been very, very uplifting, and to see you at this role in the transition. And so I did get a call from one of my constituents who wanted to relay his congratulations to you, Mr. Augustine Laredo. She has helped the Baytown Promise Center tremendously with strategic planning and getting our focus together. And so when he saw it on the agenda, because he's out of town right now on vacation for the summer, so he just wanted to make sure that I relay his congratulations to you. He is president of the Fred Aguilar Promise Center. So I just wanted to let you know that, and that you are in high regards within the community. So thank you.
Bill, anyone else?
Well deserved. You're the right person for the job. Very excited for you and our community.
I just want to congratulate you, Jamie. Up to this point, it's been a pleasure working with you, so look forward to continuing to do that. Also got a call from a constituent, a Mr. Kevin Troller, that you may know. He wanted to congratulate you as well. So I told
Best Christmas movie of all time.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Best Christmas movie of all time.
That Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation, yeah.
Home Alone. Top three.
When,
Top five.
when were you born?
79.
When were you born?
88.
That's why. That's why.
I was born in the 70s. What's going on?
Are you going to introduce them, the kids? Or the,
You want to introduce them?
I can if you tell me who they are real quick.
Baytown.
They know who's doing what.
They already got it. Thank you. I now call to order the Joint City Council and the Baytown Municipal Development District meeting on Thursday, June 25th, 6:30 p.m. in the council chamber, and announcement of quorum at 6:36 p.m. We will now have the pledge and invocation done. Well, I'm going to let Ms. Councilmember District 5, Jacob Powell, introduce our special guest tonight.
Yeah, we have, for a resolution here later in the agenda, we have some guests from the Baytown chapter of Top Ladies of Distinction. I believe they have some teens as well that are going to help us with our pledges and invocation. So thank
Come
you all
on
so
up.
much. Yeah.
I pledge to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, and indivisible.
May everyone bow their heads, please. Our Father, we thank you for this great meeting right here, Lord. We thank you for the top lady of distinction. We thank you for the council chambers. We thank you for Mayor Johnson, Lord. We're thankful for this gathering of people here who took times out of their day to come talk to the council today, Lord. We're thankful for this meeting. We're thankful for everyone that's in here, Lord. Please grant us safe passages here and to when we leave, Lord. And I praise you, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
We're going to go on to citizen comments. Do we have anyone signed up to speak? Did you sign up?
Don't ask this person because they're a minor for their address.
Got you. Oh, wow, we're in for a treat today. First person, well, let me read this. I'm so excited. The purpose of citizen comment is to give all interested citizens the right to express their views. Everyone desiring to speak should have either signed the appropriate list in the foyer or emailed the city clerk prior to the posted time of this meeting. Each citizen shall give his or her name and address for proper record. The rules allow each person 1 minute to speak. A citizen may pass his or her time to another person who has requested to address council. However, no citizen remarks shall exceed 3 minutes in total. Either the 1 minute or the 3 minute limit may be extended by a majority vote of council. I encourage everyone to be as brief and to the point as possible. Please keep in mind, council cannot discuss or deliberate on items for which public notice has not been given on this agenda. First, we have Ms. Kate Cruz. I'm not going to ask you for your address. Just come to the podium right here. But what I am going to do, thank you, is ask before she starts if we can extend her time to 3 minutes. Can I get a motion to do so?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. You have 3 minutes, Ms. Cruz.
Good afternoon, people of the council. My name is Kate Cruz, and I am 10 years old, and a 5th grade at Bob Hope School. My goal is to attend Texas A&M University after high school. I live in District 6 in Baytown, and I wish to request an addition to my local park, Frank D. Mordor Park. The neighborhood kids and myself would love a splash pad added along with more picnic tables and benches. Also a playground for small children like toddlers. The parking at the playground could also be extended. Thank you for your time and attention, and I will be available after the meeting to further discuss the needed update to my local park. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to try to hurry through this meeting since you're going to make yourself available. Next, we have Miss Cynthia Coker. I'm going to have to ask you for your address.
I'm at 1818 Cedar Bayou Road here in Baytown. At the last city council meeting, several people spoke about their concern for the homeless people here. About a year ago, I tried to help a woman who had come to my church on a cold wintry day. I brought her to my house. I fixed a place for her to sleep in my detached garage. I happen to have an old hospital bed there. So I did that. I didn't have facilities for her, though, so unfortunately it was not going to work out very well. But I did find out that she had already had quite a history with the Baytown police. She got into a lot of fights with people, and she had a drug problem. I realized that hard as it is these people are on the street mostly because they don't want to abide by any rules and they don't want to be told what they can and cannot do.
Hold on 1 minute, 1 second. That was your 1 minute, but I'm going to ask council if they wouldn't mind extending your time.
So moved up to 3 minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You have 2 additional minutes.
Thank you. I also discovered that there are a lot of resources available for these people that provide food and shelter and clothing. Well, not shelter maybe, but food and clothing for free. And the woman I tried to help also received, because I tried to help her with her PayPal account, $1,000 a month, which she did not manage very well, partly because of her drug habit, and she was always losing her phone and just did not take care of things very well. On the other hand, my point of my talk tonight is to shed light that there's not really any or very little resources for unwanted animals, which a lot of people, may not care about animals. I've always cared for animals, but everybody's different. Not everybody feels that way. But just as a matter of common decency and compassion, it's just really hard for me to accept that there are people that can throw animals, little kittens, out of cars on the highway, or they chain them up in their backyards when they move away, or they go and dump them somewhere because they can't take them to the shelter. There's no room there. So it's not an easy problem to address or to fix, but not confronting the problem, not addressing the problem is no solution either. Just like the homeless situation is complex, it's hard to deal with, and unfortunately, these people, have a lot more help than animals do. And I just want to say real quick, maybe the city could help the
hold on.
shelter. Do I need to stop?
No, we're going to allow you a little bit of time to go ahead and wrap it up because that was your 3 minutes.
Okay, I will. Maybe the shelter or the city could help the shelter provide more education to the public as far as spaying and neutering their pets, because that is so important and that would contribute so much to having a lot less stray, unwanted animals on the streets.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Next, we have Mr. Troy Whiteneck. Please state your address.
$9946 Bayou Woods Drive, Baytown. One reason we have so many homeless is the state has cut funding for mental health for years, but $580,000 for the police department and not one nickel earmarked to help the homeless. I'm also hearing rumors that you want to cut more bus routes, but you want to keep the Garth Road bus route. Apparently you want the sales tax money, but it doesn't bother you that some of these people lost their jobs because they didn't have any transportation to get to work. And it looks like you're showing you're not hiding your disdain for the poor and Baytown's most vulnerable.
Thank you. There being no one else desiring to speak, this concludes the citizen comment part of the agenda. We are now on to 2A, Municipal Development District items, considering approving the minutes of the City Council regular joint meeting with the Municipal Development District held on May 28, 2026. I need a motion.
Motion to approve minutes.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 2B, receive the Baytown Municipal Development District's fiscal year 2026-2027 proposed budget. Ms. McKenzie.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here to present the 27 MDD proposed budget. Total revenues that we're proposing is 9.9 million, and that is minus the rebates that we have to pay for our 380 agreements. Our operating expenses for economic development is 32,000. That includes personnel, supplies, maintenance, and services. Our hotel convention center operations is 2.3 million. That includes payments to EDF, hotel insurance, bond counsel, our hotel audit, and financial advisor. And then we have also, I want to highlight the transfer for MDD debt service. Those debt service payments also includes the hotel series A and B. We're hoping that we would only have to pay less than what we budgeted, but for now we've included all of it just in case. And that will leave us with an ending working capital of $3.8 million, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments? None. We will consider this report received. Thank you, Ms. McKenzie. 2C, consider a resolution setting a public hearing regarding the Baytown Municipal Development District fiscal year 2026-2027 proposed budget. We're looking to set the hearing for July 9th, 2026. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Not sure if I got either one of those. That's right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We will now move on to city council items. 3A, consider approving the minutes of the city council work session and city council regular joint municipal development district meeting held on May 28th, 2026. I need a motion.
Motion to approve minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving right along to 4A, recognitions and citizen communications for their City of Baytown employees' years of service. Mr. Joey Lopez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. We have 2 employees to recognize for the month of June.
Austin Little, PWE, 25 years. Austin started working for the City of Baytown part-time at the Balin Park Waterfront Facility in 1999 as a grounds technician. From there, he transferred over to Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, where he gradually worked his way up to full-time. He was then promoted to equipment operator, where his responsibility was mowing all of the Baytown parks, including Bicentennial Park, for every 4th of July event and other festivities. In 2001, Austin transferred over to Public Works and Engineering, where he became a concrete specialist. After some time, he was promoted to sweep operator and was responsible for keeping our neighborhood streets clean for just over 3 years. In 2013, Austin was promoted to crew chief in the streets department, where he remains to this day. In his spare time, Austin spends his time with family, attends church, and enjoys fishing, helping others, and football games. Thank you, Austin, for 25 years of dedicated service. Aaron Crowell, Police, 25 years. Assistant Chief Aaron Crowell joined the Baytown Police Department in 2001 and has served in a variety of assignments, including patrol, criminal investigations, special investigations, and executive leadership. Throughout his career, he has helped develop the department's digital forensic capabilities, led violent crime reduction initiatives, and played key roles in strategic planning, technology implementation, and organizational development. While serving as a narcotics detective, Aaron served as executive producer of The Last High, an award-winning documentary that educated the public about the dangers of synthetic cannabinoids and helped support local efforts to address the emerging drug threat. Aaron has also served in leadership roles and as the president of both the Baytown Municipal Police Association and the Texas Municipal Police Association, advocating for law enforcement professionals across Texas. A United States Marine Corps veteran, Aaron is married to his wife Lauren and has 3 children, Shelby, Lindy, and Case. In his free time, Aaron helps take care of their horses, dogs, and cats, as well as coaches T-ball for his son Case, and has been recognized as the loudest fan at his daughter Lindy's softball games. Aaron will be graduating magna cum laude from the University of Houston downtown this summer with his Bachelor's of Applied Arts and Sciences in Criminal Justice, and is looking forward to continuing his education. Thank you, Assistant Chief Crowell, for your 25 years of dedicated service.
Now we're going to do a proclamation, council. I'm going to ask if you would like, after we do this, please join me for a picture. Sure. So what we have here today, we're going to recognize an organization for 40 years of service here in Baytown, and that is the Top Ladies of Distinction. Being around for 40 years, that's almost as old as I am. That's a long time.
That math ain't mathing.
Y'all caught that, huh? That's that fuzzy math. So, two questions. Why do you think you all have been around for 40 years? A heart for service. What does that mean?
Giving back our community and also encouraging our teams to give back.
Okay, good deal. So, I got a question for the teams now. I'm not going to call anyone up to speak, so you can have a sigh of relief. But I am going to ask, what is it like being a part of an organization that's been around for 40 years, which is probably 2 to 3 times as long as most of you have been alive, right? So what is that like, and why did you choose to be a part of this organization?
I chose to be a part of this organization to help around the community because I love the city of Baytown and the people in it. And I want to improve the community by not just showing out myself, but helping out other people to maybe give them a light or a reason of why they come to help.
Very good. Very good. Well, whenever you all turn 18, if you're still living here in the city, we have plenty of committees that we have a hard time finding people to serve on. And we will most definitely ask that you all, when you're 18, put an application in, and one of these council members will bring it forth and we'll vote on you continuing your service at a different level. Am I right about that, council?
That's right.
Yeah. So let's get to this. Recognizing the Baytown chapter of Top Ladies of Distinction, Inc. for 40 years of service. Whereas Top Ladies of Distinction, Inc. is a national nonprofit educational and humanitarian organization dedicated to enhancing and enriching the lives of youth and adults through leadership, scholarship, mentorship, community service, and civic engagement. The Baytown chapter, established in 1986, has proudly served the community for 40 years through programs that support education, youth development, community outreach, and service to those in need. And whereas through its partnership with Top Teens of America, its #1 thrust, the Baytown chapter has fostered leadership, academic excellence, and community involvement among young people. Together, they serve the community through volunteerism, outreach initiatives, and programs that enrich the lives of Baytown residents. And whereas the Baytown chapter has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to empowering future leaders, supporting families, and strengthening the community by devoting its time, talents, and resources to numerous initiatives, the chapter continues to improve the quality of life for residents throughout Baytown and the surrounding area. And whereas the organization's long-standing dedication to service, mentorship, and civic engagement has created meaningful opportunities for youth and adults alike. Its programs have helped cultivate leadership, promote educational success, and inspire community pride across generations. And this is the last whereas, I promise. Whereas the City of Baytown recognizes and appreciates the significant contributions made by the Baytown chapter of Top Ladies of Distinction, Inc., the city celebrates its 40 years of dedicated service, leadership, and lasting positive impact on the community. Now, therefore, I, Charles Johnson, Mayor of Baytown, do hereby recognize and honor the Baytown chapter of Top Ladies of Distinction, Inc., for its 40 years of service and dedication to the community, and extend sincere appreciation for its outstanding contributions to the citizens of Baytown. Let's give them a round of applause. We may have to come in some, you think?
No, I think you're okay. I think everybody.
Okay.
Okay, I take it back. Maybe if y'all will squeeze it just a little bit. Okay. And if I can't see you, if you can't see my face, I can't see you, and there's one short person right in the back in the middle. Short person. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. All right, now I think I can see everybody. All right, big smiles, big smiles. Got it, thank you. Thank you.
See you, Jason.
You're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Tennis shoes.
You want to wear my shoes?
I got mine.
I actually play right here.
Are we just
Yes, good to see you. Thank you.
I got it. Five A, consider an ordinance calling the City of Baytown general election to be held on November 3rd, 2026 for the purpose of electing city council members from District 4, 5, and 6. I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
You didn't second that one? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll be taking 5B and 5C together. Consider an ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute a joint election agreement with Harris County, Texas for the general election to be held on November 3rd, 2026. And 5C, consider an ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute a joint election agreement with Chambers County, Texas for the general election to be held on November 3rd, 2026. I need a motion.
Motion to approve items 5B and 5C.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we are on to 6A. Consider an ordinance regarding proposed text amendments to the Unified Land Development Code to change sections 2.31, consolidated use table, to change section 2.33, use specific standards, and to change Article 10, word usage. Mr. Martin Scribner, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to allow the citizens an opportunity to speak because you've taken the time to show up and sign up. But we're going to table this item so that we will have a full council to hear everything that you all are wanting to consider. Okay?
Mayor, would you like a quick summary prior to anyone else?
Yeah,
so maybe give
I just
everybody
wanted
a little bit of info.
get that out. Yeah.
Sure.
Go ahead.
I'm happy to do that. So, for the record, Martin Scribner, Planning and Development Services. Thank you, Mayor and Council. We have kind of run this through the ringer quite several times now. So real quick background so I think everybody in the room can kind of see. The last thing that we did with City Council was a work session in May. But in April, we brought a proposed change to the short-term rental regulations to City Council. And we were told, go back and change some things. And you have basically until tonight to get that accomplished. So we did that. We had the work session. And what you're going to see tonight is basically we have that purpose. We want to address the short-term rentals to manage growth, add value, and to proactively address that market and set some clear expectations, not only for the residents, but also for the property owners. So what you're going to see, I'm going to go through this real quick. You will see a bunch of stuff on the screen. The things that are highlighted are the things that we talked about in the work session and had some, we had conversations about. So first thing, special use permit is removed. The next is that we talked about the permit being required. There was a conversation about what is, we had a local 24-hour contact person is required We needed to define that local. So we defined that as within 50 miles of the rental property. We also determined that we would renew the permit on an annual basis, and there would be a fee required. We're not talking about the fee tonight. We are going to bring that back at the July 9th meeting to discuss exactly what that fee would be. We talked about inspections. Again, nothing changed from the proposed language on that. The residential character we talked about, that was really about the parking, so that one space per bedroom plus one additional, and the number of occupants, maximum number of occupants, which is 2 persons per bedroom plus 2 additional persons. We talked about the fact that a lot of this is about kind of what can be advertised and what, whether that is a requirement for the permit, but not going to be a requirement for enforcement later on because there's no way to really to do that enforcement on an ongoing basis. So we left those the way they were in the proposed language, but we did discuss it at the work session. We also talked about that HOA rules and deed restrictions. We changed the language on that. So we included a disclaimer at the beginning of the short-term rental regulations to say the city will not enforce those restrictions. And this is for information only to say this is something that's going to be not the city's authority. We also talked about revocation or suspension, but nothing changed from that, from the work session. And that is all. So hopefully that covered all of the changes that we talked about at the work session. Otherwise, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments?
And hopefully you also all got the memo that I sent the day after that kind of outlined all of the changes we were going to make.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, we're going to start with citizen comment. 6A, Hope McMaster. Hope McMaster. Hope McMaster. Okay. Next we have Chet Thies. Chet Thies. Chet Thies. Okay, now we have Jean Hines. Please state your address.
1209 Dwinell, Baytown, Texas. That's in Plumwood, Section 2. And I'm very sure I have one of these next door to me. Are we positive? No. We know nothing other than the fact that there's a revolving door over there. There can be as many as 5 or 6 cars in that driveway. As a matter of fact, there were 4 cars where, let's see, there were 2 trucks, an SUV, and a car last night. When I left to come up here, there's a little black car in the driveway now. We've had box trucks backed in, van back in. One night I got up the next morning and there were 2 big HD type trucks backed into the garages with the doors partly called down. There were 2 more trucks in the driveway, 2 cars, and a car in the street. And we don't know what's going on. It's all really dark windows. And I mean, this goes on day and night, and we don't know what's going on. I'm lying there afraid sometimes that, are we going to be in a place where we're going to get shot at? Our neighborhood's going to get shot at? Because there's all this mess with people that are not part of our neighborhood going in and out. And I think for most of us, it's a fact of not knowing, are these people legitimately renting this place from somebody? Do they have a purpose for being there? And it's just the way they act going in and out and the way they come in and out at all times of the day and night that's worrying. They left this morning, the trucks and the SUV and the car, at approximately, I think they woke me up about 5:45. So that's what we're living with. And I'm scared because I honestly don't know what's going on. We have no idea who even owns the house. It's been multiple owners. Thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So I'm going to need a motion to table this. Can I get a motion to table it?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We are going to push 7A to July 9th. Don't need to do anything with that. And now we are on to consent agenda. I have a few things we're going to pull, but is there any additional things that we have wanting to be pulled? We're going to look at pulling 8B and 8D.
Second one to pull.
Which
B
one?
was the only one that I had.
B and D.
B and D?
That was something, yeah.
Good deal. So I need a motion.
Motion to approve items 8A through L, save and accept B and D.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, 8B, consider an ordinance authorizing the award of the light towing and storage services for Baytown Record Service, Inc. and Lindsay Automotive, LLC. Chief Stringer. And
Good evening, John Stringer, Chief of Police, City of Baytown. We are presenting the towing contract, which has gone through procurement, bidding, and selection. It's been back and forth through legal, back and forth to purchasing. We've been working on this, especially Corporal Nelson, who's in charge of this project, has been working on this for quite some time, at least since October of last year, maybe a little bit longer. And we are presenting this now based on the process that was set up for us through purchasing and vetted by legal, and we are submitting this for consideration. Any questions you have, we'll be more than happy to do our best to answer them for you.
yeah.
Well, Mayor, Council, I stand for questions.
Well, I'm going to start off by saying thank you for the work that you've done since last October. I know that this can be a tedious job. I would imagine that you receive a lot of phone calls, whether it be positive or negative, and for you taking the time and to put as much effort as you all have into this, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions or comments for them?
I just have a quick question for B. So one of the questions that was brought up to me was the difference, but why the difference of contracts between the heavy and then the everyday towing? So
Why a difference?
why the difference? Why do we have two separate contracts for our heavy towing versus just light and everyday towing?
I think one thing's for simplicity and efficiency. They're two different operations. While I understand some tow companies provide both, it is two different things, and that's why it was much cleaner, I think, for the city to have two specific contracts delineated.
And I can appreciate that, and I just want to make sure the public heard that, because that's what I explained, and I just want to make sure I didn't get it wrong. So I appreciate it.
Go ahead.
I also want to thank Mr. Nelson and Chief Stringer. I know over the last year, we've had a lot of sit-downs talking about the RFP. Is it fair? There are other tow truck companies following the RFP. And I know in terms of one of the records that we're signing back on, that hasn't always been the case. And I guess my question is why are we going back to the record that has habitually violated the RFP and violated the contract? And in regards to the second one, it is my understanding that the other one right now cannot meet the contract's criteria of having enough records on hand to cover the city's needs. That's what I've heard. Okay. So I'm looking for a little clarification. I'll be honest, a little disappointed that we're still going with the record that has had a track record going back to 2019 of issues with either TDLR or issues with overcharging our citizens on costs and violating our last contract. And I know y'all fixed that contractually to allow certain charges to be in notification fees and taxing on fees on as far as storage. But I'm little wondering or were these the only two that put in who bid it for this RFP? Or why are we going back to why these two?
Okay, so forgive me if I skip around. You've got several questions bound up into one thing there, but
concisely, why these two after, especially
they were the only two that submitted.
The only two submitted. Okay. It's from my understanding some of the issues the others didn't submit, and I've had a lot of conversations with other records. Is one I talked to, and I think they're here and they'll explain as well that they according to the RP they put out, they did not have a storage company within our city limits, but they had one just outside city limits on Jones Road. The other ones, they, for other different reasons, but, I really don't feel comfortable awarding this RFP to a record with the history it's had in the city.
Councilman, if you have, I guess, specifics that I can look at and try to address for you, I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
What I can tell you is I took over this position January of 2024. So what happened prior to that, I really can't speak to. But since I've been in that position, we have had 2 complaints from citizens on that particular record service. There was one in 24 and there was one in 25. Both times it was addressed. And you had brought up the simple fact it was about fees. I'd like everybody to understand that in the original, I'm going to say contract, but I'm referring to the RFP because we've never had an actual contract that I've been able to put my hands on. Okay, but in the first iteration, back from 2018, the city basically said you can charge specific fees, period. The towing company is regulated by TDLR. TDLR allows for additional fees that are statutorily allowed. Ours did not allow that. He was simply applying the fees that he's allowed by state law to apply, but we were penalizing him because we didn't have it in our contract because nobody did any research on TDLR and actually included it. So we were handicapping them. Other companies in the city and the surrounding areas can charge those fees, but he was told he could not. So that was how that was addressed. So we went back this time and we basically copied TDLR, top to bottom, and even put in there so that as TDLR changes, because they do every couple of years, we don't have to come back to council. We'll just mirror exactly what TDR allows. Another big thing that we did is on the chief's recommendation, the city was taking fees from these contracted vendors for simply towing. Every time they did tow, we got basically, for lack of a better word, a kickback. Not a good look, right? So we've got rid of that. There's no reason these vendors should be paying for a privilege to contract with the city. So we got rid of that. What other points can
I just want to go back to your last point was just kind of pointing out when we did put out the initial RFP, what happened was a lot of the other drivers, they walked away from bidding, and that kind of left a funnel to where only one person bid it, and they took the bid, and they were allowed to charge these fees where it caused other tow truck companies to walk away from working with the city. I know this isn't you guys' fault, but we inherited it. I know we inherited a mess with this issue, but I guess the point is that I personally don't feel comfortable with going back with Baytown Wrecker, and I would like maybe we could table this and leave the RP open to see if we could have to look to see what's out there, if there's other drivers, tow truck companies other than these two that could take it to better serve our citizens. But I'm just not comfortable with.
Well, and for clarification, when the actual bid meeting took place here at City Hall, there were 9 individuals here representing 6 different tow companies. Once that meeting was concluded, they had an opportunity to submit questions to us. We received the dozens from these different companies, and at the end of the day, only 2 submitted.
Yeah.
From our perspective, it seems like crying over spilled milk. You had the same opportunity everybody else did to put in. You chose not to, but you're kind of crying about it now that it wasn't fair. It just doesn't look good. It's not a good look.
How long was the bid open for?
I have a timeline. So the pre-bid meeting took place on May 8th. Questions and answers were done by the 13th. The bid closed on the 18th, so it was open for 10 days.
And
it was posted on the city's, I believe it's called the Quest site. Purchasing actually took an additional step and actually emailed multiple towing companies individually with all the necessary paperwork on top of notifying that it was in Quest.
And the RFP opened after you all went in and adapted the TDLR, the things that they were doing.
Yes, sir.
So TDLR, everything was in on that RFP.
Correct.
So they got to read it verbatim, word for word, what we're about to approve tonight. Well, what we may approve tonight.
Correct.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I do, but.
I'm getting.
Okay, so, Jacob, did you have anything? Because I know I already spoke. Okay. I actually don't have an issue, and I trust in the process and the due diligence that your department had. And I think for me, it was just that clarity in terms of the difference in contracts, and also the distance requirement for the storage piece. Can they only have in city? Can they have a mile out? Because I think that was another confusion about, the radius of where they can have or where they should have a storage unit.
And Corporal Nelson, correct me if I'm wrong, but our last understanding was that the City Council's direction was to have a storage lot either owned by the company or contracted by the company to be within the city limits. So we worked very hard, I say we, Corporal Nelson and purchasing, worked very hard to make sure that was articulated appropriately and fairly. Nobody wants this to be resolved more than we do. We want to make sure that we provide a good, safe tow service for our citizens, for our department, and that includes not just our motorists, but it also includes pedestrians, cyclists, people who are using our roadways, so that we can clear the roads as quickly as we can, that we're behaving professionally. I also believe that the work that Corporal Nelson has done, both with our city legal as well as finances purchasing department, gives us the opportunity to continue to hold people more accountable and take some lessons that have been learned from our predecessors and try to make the process better. Now, that's something that we're committed to continue to do as we move forward. I was very hopeful personally when Corporal Nelson told me that we had numerous 6 services show up to the pre-bid meeting, and I thought this is going to be great, this is going to be a good process, and yet we still ended up with just 2 putting in for a bid. And Corporal Nelson really worked hard to bring this across the finish line, and at some points he was just waiting on other city departments to complete their task with all the other things that they have to be able to get this to you here tonight.
And I appreciate that, because I know that we went through several iterations of the RFP and the rules and the guidelines, and that y'all have adopted pretty much everything, as you stated, what TDLR has. And so it's their right to be able to charge those fees because that's what's accepted.
And I
And
think Corporal Nelson knows more about TDLR now than he ever wanted to.
Ever wanted.
and then I'm assuming that both of these companies that we're selecting do have a storage facility within the city limits.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, they may have additional outside the city limits, but to serve our community, they do own or contract within the city limits.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you so much.
Am I correct about the direction we were given?
Yes.
They wanted it in the city limits?
No, that is true.
Okay, thank you. And I am also happy to hear that we had 6 that came in to listen and ask questions. And I think as we get the process done and make sure that it works, perhaps we have additional companies that'll bid and make it a little bit more competitive. Because that's exactly what we want out of each one, whether it's by board, whether it's Quest, whatever it is, we try to make it as competitive as possible. So, thank you.
And Mr. Griffin, I think you had brought up one other point I didn't address, but with regards to tow trucks available, all I can speak to is what they have submitted through the RFP process. They do meet the minimum requirement. If for some reason during this process or during the contract period they fail to meet that, then we'll address it at that point. But right now they have provided paperwork to show otherwise.
Yeah. And thank you. I don't want this to sound like I'm not grateful for the work y'all have done. I just want to make sure. Are y'all happy with the 2 that signed on? Or y'all?
I have no objections to the 2 that have signed on.
Okay.
I don't know that I would say I'm happy. It has nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're there.
But you are happy, right?
Generally.
Good.
And to follow up with that, let me add this. The selection committee, they did good work on it. This is what they presented, and I trust their evaluations.
Yes, sir. You wanted to say something?
Yes, Mayor, Council. I wanted to add one piece to that is that we did go out for bid already once since 2024, and then Council asked for a revamp of that bid because we only had one person bid, and then Bill and his team went back and rebid it again because Council asked for 2 vendors to be on here, and so that's what is going on here. The other comment to that is that if there is a dissenting vote on this dais tonight, it will not pass. And so if there's going to be a dissenting vote based on council's direction of how this was built and following the rules and procedures, and at this point I'm looking out for the staff on 2 years of work at this point. I'm asking to table it. I'm not trying to get into the politics of this. I'm just asking to table it if there is a dissenting vote here.
Well, we wouldn't know that unless we voted. You know.
Well, we do have some folks that.
Yeah, I'm going to get them.
Okay.
I got them right here. So before we get into the vote, thank you all again, but we do have some citizens that are signed up to speak. And everyone is conceding their time to Mr. David Kostka. So, Mr. Robert Kostka is giving his time to Mr. David Kostka. Mr. Jesse Oliveras is giving his time to Mr. David Kostka. And so, Mr. David Kostka, if you don't mind approaching and giving us your address, you're going to have a total of 9 minutes. Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is David Kostka. I've actually been in a towing storage business for over 38 years. The reason I didn't bid on this contract is because I no longer have a storage facility within the city limits of Baytown. I have one within 1 mile of the city limits of Baytown that I could have stored in. And I found out the day the bid was due to be turned in that one of the heavy-duty contracts does have a storage facility outside the city limits in LaPorte, which I fell short of getting paperwork done because I didn't know that they were allowing an outside the city limits storage facility. Like I say, I'm within 1 mile of the Baytown Water Authority on Thompson Road off of Jones Road in Highlands, and I've been in business for 38 years. I would have been gladly bid on it. I personally right now own 10 trucks. I'm only carrying insurance on 3 of them just because the business ain't there and the insurance is $2,000 per month per truck. So if they ain't making money, you can't afford to be throwing money away. But I do have the equipment and would have loved to bid on it. I've spent a whole bunch of money over the past 20 years since I started dealing with the city of Baytown to be on a rotation and been dragged through the mud. Just leave it at that. But I would definitely like to have been a part of that bid, but wasn't because of that exclusion. I no longer, I spent the money to get a storage facility. I was at 1609 ML Wismer, right next to Ace Machine off of Business 146. They're off of 99. And he ended up bought me a lot that complied with what the city rules were at that time, which was the storage facility had to be in light or heavy industry. And that was the only property that wasn't waterfront that you could have a storage facility. Spent stupid money on it to only be able to work for a year and ended up selling it for 1/10 of what I paid for it. Like I say, I'd love to be a part of the contract, but the exclusions on the city is what kept me from bidding. I guess that's where I stand and was wanting to be part of it. I've got the people that signed up with me wanting to be part of it as well that could be back up to where everybody knows competition is good. You give one person the whole pie and he's going to take it and eat it the way he wants to. You got competition out there and they know they got a bar to hold up. Better for y'all. Y'all got more people working for y'all to take care of you and care about the citizens of Baytown. I've enjoyed working with the city officers. I know biggest most of them. Even today, I've been off the rotation, 10 years since Baytown got on? 9, 10 years? Since they got it exclusively. And I still deal with Baytown officers on a daily basis. I'm still in the record business. So I would like if I could be considered.
Okay, is that it?
Yes, sir.
You still got time left. I'm not trying to shortchange you on your time. How much time does he have left?
It says 4 minutes, 28 seconds.
Okay, well.
Like I say, I've got the equipment. I can provide a good service. Y'all can speak with probably majority of the police department and they'll tell you, they see me on the scenes working. I work with auto theft on the other side, helping them regularly. We work together hand in hand, helping each other. If I'm late, I'm late, but I wouldn't have been late had I had the opportunity to put a bid in with my facility being 1 mile out of the jurisdiction, I guess would be the way to say it. What's the difference in a heavy storing in LaPorte and a light storing in Highlands? Light duty.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
You wanted to say something?
Yeah. Would Chief Stringer or Officer Norman, would his location of where he was, would that have disqualified him from making a bid?
Yes, the direction we were giving is that the light-duty tow storage facility had to be within the city limits of Baytown.
Okay. Even not a mile over?
Within the city limits
Within
of
the
Baytown.
city limits of Baytown.
Yeah, that's the direction we gave.
Yeah,
and I can say
Yeah,
why
I
it's
agree.
different for heavy. I mean, heavy towing is typically commercial in nature.
That's right.
Probably, in a lot of cases, probably not commercially based in Baytown. We're talking about light towing; it could be citizens, and so we wanted their vehicles to be somewhere where they could easily access them within the city. We didn't want them having to take long rides outside of the city to go pick up their vehicles, and so I think that's a good reason to have that in-city requirement for the light towing.
Like you said, that's something we agreed on for that reason.
Right.
And that's us looking out for our citizens.
Yeah.
So,
And that is why it's in two separate contracts, to allow for that. And, I do thank you for coming in to speak. And, as I mentioned earlier, we want to make this as competitive as possible. But I think our staff has been very well at answering questions and checking in, and the fact that they reached out individually to those that are in the towing service to make sure that they had the RFP. And questions are welcomed anytime. If you had that question, 2-3 days before or the day of, that's something that I know our staff would welcome to ensure that we get every viable option in applications. And so I think this is something that we definitely want to look at a little closer moving forward. But at the same time, I don't want to delay this any further because we have been back and forth with the towing issue. And I just hope that, as we said before, when RFPs are open, we do everything possible to get the word out, and we want to make sure that y'all have every opportunity to come in and ask questions. And that's something that just didn't happen before on the side of the businesses wanting to apply. So.
Yeah, and for staff to say that they actually went above and beyond and sent emails out. That's not something that we asked them to do. That's something that they chose to do to make sure that everyone had the information and had the opportunity. So I'm satisfied with our process. Again, I'm going to say thank you to staff because I think you all went above and beyond and did an awesome job in reaching out, making yourselves available, and letting everyone know what this process was and what the changes that have been made in it. So thank you again. But we're going to go ahead and
I just have one clarification, if you don't mind. So I was asked if 3-1 is not a majority, and the answer is it's gray. And so council has the right to vote and pass it as a 3-1 majority, but the attorney has been working this, as you can see, the papers have spread far and wide up here at this point. But
that's fine. Like I say, we won't know until we vote anyway.
Right.
And we've put this off too long.
I understand.
Yeah.
No, but Mayor, with all due respect, I don't want to. If it ends up being 3-1 and it dies, then it's going to be put off for much longer. So I'd rather wait until we have the full 7 of us here.
How much longer is that going to be put off?
The next meeting.
The next meeting.
No, I mean if it dies.
6 months.
6 months.
You can bring it back. You have to suspend your rules as the council to bring it back.
We've actually done that before.
But we would have to go rebid. If it dies, we have to go rebid. So you're looking at a minimum of 3 to 4 months, if not longer, to rebid the process.
That's what I was going to ask.
So you say that you didn't know because you didn't read the RFP. What happened?
No, I knew about the bid, but
Can you get
bid because
Can you go to the mic, please?
Yes, sir. So I didn't bid because I didn't have a storage facility inside the city limits, but that's probably the reason y'all are having a problem getting anybody to bid on it, because you realize to have a storage facility in the city limits of Baytown, it's got to be, the land has to be zoned heavy or light industry.
I understand that, but.
And that's normally either Exxon or waterfront property.
I'm not going to get into that, but I will say that everyone had the opportunity, everyone knew, and they've been working on this for 2 years. There's plenty of opportunity. Let's thank you. Let's see what the attorney's going to say.
I do have a quick question as she's walking out.
Go ahead.
Should we table this? Let's say that. Do we have an existing contract right now still in play, or would this leave us in limbo? Would this be a carryover? What is the timeline?
Yes. So we
Yes to all.
We're basically on a verbal agreement to carry on as we've been going until this is completed. There is nothing contractual in writing that holds either side to anything, because that has long expired.
And Corporal, that was the last direction that we received from legal, was that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
So, what's the verdict? Good deal. Let's do this.
Mr. Mayor, I know we could vote, and we have 3 members of council who isn't here. What's a couple of weeks to table this and get council voting on this? So I want a motion to table this until July 9th.
So if you got a motion to table, we're going to call for a second. So, can I get a second? It dies on the vine after 3, right?
There's no second. Yes, it does.
Can I get a second? Can I get a second? Okay.
I'll make a motion, we approve item 8B.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
That's 3-1. Motion carries. Thank you. Now we are on to 8D. Consider an ordinance approving an agreement between City of Baytown and Native Construction for the removal and disposal of derelict fishing piers and construction of 4 new fishing piers at the Baytown Nature Center. Mr. Clifford Hatch.
Clifford Hatch, Parks Rec Tourism, here to answer any questions.
No questions or comments. We have one person signed up to speak. Thank you, Mr. Hatch. Mr. Troy Whiteneck.
(9946) Bayou Woods Drive, Baytown. You're going to build 4 new fishing piers at the Baytown Nature Center. Texas Parks and Wildlife has a fish consumption bans and advisory. It's been up there for years. This very same ban. It's harder to find now. You have to use their search option and type in fish consumption reports. Revised Houston Ship Channel and all continuous waters north of the Fred Hartman Bridge, State Highway 146, including the San Jacinto River below the Lake Houston Dam. Chemical concerns: dioxins, polychlorinated biphenyls, which are PCBs. Persons should not consume blue crabs or any species of fish from these waters. If you want to protect the citizens, those piers are going to be catch and release fishing piers. And I would expect the city council to put a fish consumption advisory plaque on each one of those 4 piers to protect the citizens of Baytown and any tourists that come here. Thank you.
Thank you. I need a motion for 8D.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I want to speak on item 8D just to thank city staff and for getting those piers fixed. I know I got a lot of people excited about those piers coming back. It's not just for fishing; it's also from observing and getting the great vantage point and getting good shots of our sunsets at the nature center and adding to the beauty of that area, and also bird watching. So there's more that happens in our piers than just fishing. Even though people fish and you can catch and release, fishing is fun, catching is fun, catching and releasing is fun. Not everybody who catches fish eats fish. They just like catching fish. So I'm really, really excited that that's getting fixed for our citizens and having a beautiful spot over there at the Nature Center for them to enjoy. So thank you, Cliff Hatch, and your team, and it's FEMA money that we're using, right? So
Partial is, yeah. Over 200, and I think it's 246,000 of that's going to be reimbursed by FEMA because we're building it to FEMA standards. We're using it's a replacement of the piers that were out there that were damaged there in Barrel over 2 years ago.
Right.
The piers were almost 20 years old. They've been repaired plenty of times. This is going to be to replace them, bring them up to new standards with perforated decks to where water can penetrate through during high water situations in the future. It's going to be a very nice standard to have at the park.
That's awesome. And to quote one of our colleagues, isn't here, you guys get a lot of flack when things go wrong, and y'all don't get enough recognition when things go right. And I want to be one of the first out there just to give y'all good kudos and pat on the back, and thank y'all for getting the funds to get that back and operational.
Thank you. I'll pass it along.
I'm going to say Parks always gets it right.
They do. They do.
I agree.
As well as our library.
Ms. Cruz is hopefully going to make sure that it does get right.
That's right.
Yeah.
So can I get a motion?
A motion to approve item
8D.
8D.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're going to allow Mr. Troy Whiteneck to come speak on 8E. Please state your address.
9946 Bayou Woods Drive, Baytown, Texas. At the last city council meeting, we found out that the new library doesn't have a bathroom. And where you're going to relocate the library, I understand that building's been closed for a long time. Probably the water's been shut off for a long time. And we have no idea whether the bathrooms are going to be functional there. I would think that a city manager with 3 full-time assistant city managers would be on top of the bathroom shortage. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we are on to appointments, 9A. Ms. Cruz, we're almost done, I promise. 9A, consider a resolution authorizing one appointment to the Baytown Library Board. Mr. Reynolds.
Yes, Mayor, Council. I'd like to offer up Trula Saddlemeyer. She is highly recommended from our library team, and she's heavily involved, and it is staff's recommendation to appoint Trula.
Thank you. Questions or comments? Good deal. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 9B, consider a resolution authorizing one appointment to the Baytown Area Water Authority Board. We have one person that we received an application for as a resident in the ETJ, Mr. Robert Felder.
Mr. Mayor, I reached out to Mr. Felder today. He says he's excited about the opportunity to work on BAWA. He has 23 years experience working in our public works department. Very extensive knowledge of our UDLC as well. I think he'll be a good addition to that board. So I would like to nominate Robert Felder to BAWA.
Does he have a library card?
I think he has a library card, and he's showing me how to get one as well, too.
That's what I'm talking about.
He got me a couple of them.
You got 2 library cards?
He got me 2.
Oh, wow.
One here and one for a bro.
I didn't know we could have 2. Okay, I need a motion.
One up you. I motion to approve Robert Felder to BAWA.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Reynolds, manager's report.
Yes, Mayor and Council, I'd like to recognize our police department for being commended by the Harris County District Attorney's Office for their investigative work on the capital murder case. The officers were praised for going above and beyond to ensure the case was handled properly. Their professionalism and dedication help keep our community safe, and we thank them for everything they do. And before you go to the next slide, Sabrina, I also want to thank the police department. They, a lot of the work they do with mental health work goes unnoticed or not talked about a lot. And so I personally know of 2 cases this week they've had to deal with, and or this past week. And I just want to say thank you for the care, compassion, and grace that y'all handle mental health with. And so, thanks. The HR team hosted a regional meeting on June 10th to connect with fellow municipal HR professionals. The regional meeting was a success, bringing 24 local HR professionals together for meaningful connection, learning, and collaboration. Attendees engaged in discussions around mental health, enjoyed opportunities to recharge, and left with practical takeaways to support both personal and professional well-being. So kudos to our HR team for delivering such a well-executed and impactful meeting, and really appreciate everything that y'all do and taking care of 1,000 employees. Joey and team, y'all do one heck of a job being involved and taking care of us. So thank you very much. That's all I have, Mayor and Council.
Good deal. Now we are on to Council Member 5, Jacob Powell, District Report.
All right, so D5 continues to see some new business development. We have the Houston Methodist Baytown Emergency Care Center. That's out at I-10 and 146. I've seen dirt moving out there. They're getting that going. There's also a Panda Express going out on Highway 146 as well. Jindal Pike Industrial Building, adding on there, as well as the East Coast Warehouse is doing an interior office remodel within their existing warehouse. That's out on FM 1405. Swift Showlander, it's at Showlander and I-10, and then the Plaza Shops at Baytown, just a shell-only permit for 3 retail buildings. In parks, we have the Baytown Bulkheads. They've battled frequent rainouts this season. We've had our share of rain, that's for sure. But they continued to deliver a strong fan experience at Jenkins Park. They've had food trucks, music, entertainment. They're currently 3-3 with plans to make up their missed games. They're averaging 123 fans per home game, so good turnout there. They have 4 local interns that are supporting their game day operations, and they have national sponsors including Dr. Pepper, Turtle Box, and Memorial Hermann. They stand out by providing certified physical therapists at all games, offering a branded Turtle Box product for dugout use, fan giveaways. Community engagement really remains a priority with upcoming youth camps and partnerships with Goose Creek and local Little Leagues. Public Works, we have ditch maintenance performed along the roadside ditches near the intersection of Sterling Drive and George Street, and pipe culverts were installed at 311 and 314 Bio Bend Drive. That's all for D5, but of course I want to mention our July 4th celebration. I think this is our last meeting before we have that next Saturday, so hope to see everyone out there.
Good deal. I thought you were going to say they score 123 runs a game.
That would be pretty good. They probably wouldn't be 3-3 if that's what they were doing, but
true. Okay, having exhausted everything. Well, Miss Cruz is happy for this. I'm not going to deny her the opportunity to hear what's going on at our library. So thank you for your encouraging gestures, Mrs. Cruz. Since she's here and we are scheduled to meet with her after, I'm only going to read up to July the 8th. Okay? So these are activities taking place at our library in July. Well, I'm going to start with the 29th on Monday and go to the 8th. 10:30 a.m. baby time, 10:30 a.m. pre-K story time, 10:30 and 11:30 a.m. bilingual story time, 2 p.m. bubbles and chalk. On Thursday the 2nd, 10:30 and 11:30 a.m. toddler time, 5:30 adult craft night, and then Friday they are closed for July 3rd and 4th. So come on out for our 250th July 4th celebration. 10:30 a.m. baby time, 2 p.m. tween dig a dino. 10:30 a.m. on the 7th, pre-K story time, 6 p.m. evening story time, 6 p.m. crochet club, and 6 p.m. teen 3D dinosaur. And then on the 8th, 10:30 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. bilingual story time, 2 p.m. World of Crafts, 5 p.m. tech night, 3D printing, VR, and robotics. And then on Thursday, July the 9th, 10:30 and 11:30 a.m. toddler time. Now,
She has something to say real quick, Mayor.
oh, go ahead.
Mayor, I just wanted to correct for the purposes of the record, when you were speaking on item 7A, which is the annexation of the property located at 5359 East Grandway Parkway South, Chambers County. I believe you said when you spoke that this would be brought back on July 9th. However, there are some scheduling needs to go to Biowa first, so it may not technically be on that July 9th agenda, but since we are here in the public and we've made that, I just wanted to make it clear that it may be at a later meeting.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyone else have something to say? Making sure.
That's a lady of distinction over there.
I know. I know. That is the czar.
Oh, goodness.
That is the czar.
Yeah, two ladies.
That's right. That's right.
So
That's
blessed to be
okay.
in
I
town.
got you. I got
Two
you.
ladies.
And do you all have your library cards?
I do.
Good deal.
I do too.
I don't know if it's legal to have two. That just doesn't sound right. But having exhausted everything on this agenda, I now adjourn this meeting. Can you have two library cards?
Why not?
The Texas Parks and Wildlife television series is funded in part by a grant from the Wildlife and Sport Fish Restoration Program. Through your purchases of hunting and fishing equipment and motorboat fuels, over $50 million in conservation efforts are funded in Texas each year. Additional support provided by Ram Trucks, built to serve.